With large datasets, we need to be aware of malicious activity. For ultimate threat intelligence, we can automate the detection and intersection of malicious IP addresses using Devo Flow. Let's see how to build a flow to do just that. In this example, we will monitor firewall traffic by correlating it against a table that contains malicious IP addresses to notify us of any matches. If there is a match, Flow will generate an enriched event that will be logged in a designated my.app table. From this new table, you can take further action by creating detection rules to identify threats that put your organization at risk. Firstly, we have the generator unit. This unit fires an event to start the flow. In the total events field, we can add the number of events to be emitted. Use negative numbers to allow an unlimited amount of events. Next, we have the Devo Full Query unit. We will use this unit to query events from the CSV file we uploaded to Devo, including potentially dangerous IP addresses. This is where we specify the table containing the list of IPs, used to check for matches with our Devo Firewall table. We use the start time and end time fields to specify a time range containing events in the lookup. Now, the Devo Full Query unit will feed the lookup unit with our query data. Notice the order of the links. Firstly, the Devo Full Query unit will signal from the init port to the clear port of the lookup unit. We need this link to reset the content of the lookup each time you activate the flow. The second link goes from the init port of the Devo Full Query unit to the begin port of the lookup unit. This will make the lookup begin receiving new data each time a query starts. You must create this link after the previous one. Next, the data port of the Devo Full Query unit is linked to the update port of the lookup unit. This will update the content of the lookup with the query data. Finally, data leaves via the end port of the Devo Full Query unit to the end port of the lookup unit. This will make the lookup stop receiving data when the query finishes. The lookup now stores this data, ready to receive the firewall data to check for matches. Next, we need to provide this data from the firewall query. For this, we will add a Devo source unit. In the properties, enter the query of the table containing firewall traffic. The events will then exit via the data port to the in port of the lookup unit. The lookup unit will compare the data from our CSV with the firewall traffic data and check if there's a match. In the properties, we need to specify the key fields to check in the firewall table against the value key pairs in the CSV lookup table. What we're doing here is checking if there are any matches between the source IP addresses registered in our firewall table with the malicious IP addresses of the CSV lookup. This would mean that the firewall has detected malicious source IPs sending data to Devo. The unit will send an event enriched with this information using the output field name we have specified. The Devo Sync unit will receive this information. This unit allows us to specify and create a new my.app table that will contain all the possible matches between the firewall query and the query containing the CSV IP addresses. Click the Start button to activate the flow and see this in action. From this new table, you can take further action by creating detection rules to identify threats that put your organization at risk. Thanks for watching this video. Visit us online to keep up to date with the latest content.